tell me, how did you get into the sport of rowing?
Well, my sister, she is going to be a senior next year in college. She started rowing because Mr. Miles, he's a good family friend of ours, and we go to like the same parish, so he got her involved, and then I pretty much got involved because of her, so yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's that like, having your sister to look up to within the sport?
I mean, it actually really pushes me a lot because she's gone really far in rowing and she has really high expectations for herself, and it just makes me want to work so much harder, fill her shoes and stuff, so.
Okay. I mean, what's it like rowing in a place like Dayton? Obviously, it's much more prominent on the East Coast, on the West Coast, but, in the Midwest, rowing is not as big as it is there.
Yeah, especially Dayton Boat Club. We're pretty small compared to most other boat clubs, but we do represent our team well at our competitions. So, we're proud of it. And whenever people like ask you what you do and always say rowing, it's like, what is that? It's pretty fun to explain to people though. So.
Okay. Do you get people that's like, oh, well, I went canoeing one time, and
people don't really understand how you do it, and they like always ask you like, so wait, you roll on a seat, and it's like you go backwards? Yeah, people don't really think it's a sport, but it is.
What's the most difficult thing, maybe for you when you like first got into rowing and got into the sport?
Rowing was my first sport that wasn't really contact, rowing is a team sport, but in the winter we erg, and it's all individual. Like, you push yourself on that erg, you see your times, like everything is like concrete, and it's pretty much all up to you to get better and faster, which is possible. Like, every practice you can get better.
What's going through your head when you're out on the water? Is it just thinking about a rhythm, or is there something else that's in your mind?
I don't know, because our coxswain who talks to us like the whole piece, usually I listen to that during the piece, but then afterward I couldn't tell you anything that she said to me. So really, it's just kind of like, I don't really know, like I go blank during pieces and stuff.
Okay. Trying to think. What's it like having such a large contingent, from the Dayton Boat Club that's able to go and compete on the national stage?
It really just shows like hard work pays off, and even though we are a small team, we do go far, and Mr. Miles is obviously a really good coach for us and helps us get that far. So.
Do you get any people at these things, maybe on the East Coast or the West Coast, that are like, Ohio, like Dayton, like what?
Yeah.
That's not where people come from for rowing.
Yeah. For my school next year, I'm going to row, and all the girls are from like Connecticut and like out east, and always like, oh, like you're from Midwest, and like I'm surprised you row. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just what I do, I guess. So.
Okay. How exciting is this upcoming tournament for you guys? Obviously, it's quite the big deal.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're just hoping we, even not placing that well, we're just excited to even go, but we're obviously going to hope for the best. So.
Are there specific goals or expectations that you have?
Well, mostly our goal was just to make nationals this year, so this is pretty much our goal now. We're just trying to get farther and farther. So.
All right. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to be sure we add?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, how did you get into this sport?
I got involved in my cousin. I had played other sports, throughout middle school and high school, and I was kind of tired of those. And she's like, hey, they need tall girls. Why don't you come try it? And I did, and I ended up loving it.
Okay. I mean, how difficult is it? In Ohio, it's not something you can really do year-round, like you can say maybe on the West Coast where it's a lot warmer and everything like that.
Yeah, it is hard. We've had a lot of really cold practices this spring, and it's, some days we aren't even able to go out because it's so cold, but, it's different. And, it's not always hot either. We get nice days where it's nice, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. That noise coming out of the train. I'm like, what is that? What do people say when you say, it's like, oh, I row? Like, what's the first thing people say to you?
Oh, that's like canoeing. And that's what I get most of the time, and it's, nothing like canoeing. You use your legs more than anything, and people always say, oh, you must have really strong arms, and in fact, that's exactly the opposite. We have stronger legs than arms.
Now, have you tried canoeing, kayaking, things like that, just to mix it up every now and then for yourself?
No.
All right. Talk about the fact that, it's so much, very individual, but at the same time, within a boat and a team, but you guys are more than just one boat. You can kind of feed off of other people that are in different boats. Do you kind of get that, where you use that to push each other?
Yeah, I mean, even in the winter we really use each other to push ourselves, and girls that are more competitive try and pick up the ones that, need a little pushing, and we always try and keep everyone really competitive so we can all be really strong.
What's it like, the fact that, we're here in Dayton and, we talk about the Dayton Boat Club sending people to some of the top programs in the country, having all Americans graduate from the Dayton Boat Club. What's that like, being able to kind of establish a tradition of excellence?
It's really cool. It's really cool to, hear people, like, say you're from the Dayton Boat Club, and then them start to, our name's slowly starting to build up and become more recognized and more well-known for turning out really good rowers.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else that we didn't touch on. Try to put nationals into perspective for somebody that knows little to nothing about rowing. Like, what is this like, and, having people from all over, come to this event? What is this event really like, I guess, in a nutshell?
It's basically just like our Super Bowl. Like, it's the thing that we train for all year and that, everyone wants to go to. And that's like our biggest competition. And it's so neat to see all these other girls who love working this hard and doing the same thing that you do. They're competing and being able to compete against them.
Now, is it difficult, the fact that, when you go to something like this, it's not just an one and done race. You have to put together multiple solid performances, to do as well as everyone aspires to do.
Yeah, it can be really hard to race multiple times a day. I know I've raced up to 4 times a day. That last race of the day is really a test of what you're made of.
Okay. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to be sure we add?
No.